Tonight, I want to look at a song that was a request by someone on Instagram. This song is called Zoo Eyes by Aldous Harding. I had not heard Aldous Harding at all, which seems kind of weird because she's from New Zealand and I'm from Australia, but there's loads of New Zealand artists I've never heard, so maybe it's not that weird. Aldous Harding is one of those people that I would kind of like nod along like, yes, I know their music is good, not having heard it. So I was so glad someone suggested I look at this and listen to it because it's very bizarre. The video alone is wild. I was gonna do this with just the lyrics because I don't want to get a copyright strike, but I'm gonna risk it because you guys have to see the video. I think that talking about the lyrics without the music, it's just not gonna make as much sense. Let's just have a listen.
Why? What am I doing in Dubai? In the prime of my life. Do you love me? Cried all the way through. Zoo eyes, zoo eyes, zoo eyes, zoo eyes. Ask for me and you shall receive. Bubble and fur, all rain is beads that drain to where the mother shell meets the sea. Drove my inner child to a show. We talked all the way home, and the nectar. Zoo eyes, zoo eyes, zoo eyes, zoo eyes. Ask for me and you shall receive. Purple and fur, all sound is bees that drift to where the cover tree has no leaves.
Just wild. Let's go back and look at these lyrics for a minute. It's got to be one of the best videos, like most interesting videos I've seen. And like one of the most funny and compelling opening lines. I love how deadpan it is. Why? What am I doing in Dubai? I've not been to Dubai, but I imagine that is exactly what I would say if I was there. I've known people who've gone and done gigs in Dubai and they've uttered that sentiment to me. But again, haven't been there, not knocking Dubai, but it's just a funny opening line. I like songs that don't shy away from humor. It's something that I struggled to do for so many years. Like I felt like I couldn't reconcile humor, my sense of humor, with my songwriting. I felt like my songs have to be very serious and earnest, and there's no place for humor in them. And when I let go of that, my songwriting got better because it felt like that's who I am. So why exclude that from songwriting? It's the tortured artist phase I went through in my teens and 20s. But yeah, love the humor. Why? What am I doing in Dubai in the prime of my life? Do you love me? Cried all the way through, zoo eyes. So it kind of goes off the rails really quick. And method writing has a term for this, which is absence of field. What absence of field is a way to disorient the listener or the reader. So absence of field is quite hard to do off the cuff. I can try and do it. I'm going to embarrass myself. Oh well, it's only us here. But it would be like going, my aunt, Mercedes, Apple head, used to go to the shop, refrigerator, keyboard, my bride. That's like Absence of Field, really like crappy version. It feels like she's doing a little bit of that here. But the way that she combines like this very matter of fact, why, what am I doing in Dubai in the prime of my life? Do you love me? It's a bit stream of consciousness. And then by the time we get through, cried all the way through, and then into Zoo Eyes, Zoo Eyes, Zoo Eyes, it's like, where are we? It feels really disorienting, but it's full of imagery still, which is really, really powerful as well. I feel like Aldous Harding has an idea of what's happening and she's kind of built this world. She's letting us in on a little bit of it, but she's left it up to us to like piece together our own image of this world that she's built, which is really, really cool. I like this because it's different to a lot of the songs that I often look at.
And the nectar. Zoo eyes, zoo eyes, zoo eyes.
So to me, the last line of the verse where she's chanting Zoo Eyes, it almost feels like she's beckoning in this dream, and the chorus is the dream. That's what I get from it anyway, because then the vocal goes up in pitch. We get this falsetto, and it feels, I mean, the music, it kind of takes us along and makes us feel like we're floating, or we're ascending into a dream. And if you look at the lyrics there, it's kind of like that as well. Like, is Zoo Eyes a creature? Is it describing, I don't know, like Zoo Eyes, ask for me and you shall receive. Opulent fare, all rain is beads, that drain to where the mother shell meets the sea. So it's all this very fanciful imagery that, again, to go back to method writing, we'll call it lost world voice, where it's not writing like you talk. It's lush imagery with lots of fanciful kind of narrative elements and stylized language. All rain is beads. So that gives you this image of, you know, rain, the beads of rain against a window, but then you sort of think, well, beads that you wear, like a necklace, that drain to where the mother shell meets the sea. It just gives you these images that of this other world that maybe, you know, that it feels like she's kind of letting us in on. Verse 2 is my favorite.
Drove my inner child to a show. We talked all the way home. And then
Like that line, those two lines are just ridiculous. I love that because it's still fanciful and kind of lost world in its voice, but it's deep. I read an interview where she talks about that line and she says, well, it just makes me feel sad, that line. I was like, yeah, it does. It makes me feel sad as well. It's not that it's an inherently sad line, but it has that sense. Like, it's not like you're, I don't know, it's not like you're pitying your inner child, but it's just like a sense of, I don't know, I feel a sense of longing almost and a sense of nurturing. It's just interesting. It's just an interesting way to conjure up a feeling, you know? And sadness might be a very simplistic way of describing the feeling I get from hearing that. But yeah, nostalgia, empathy. It's a really great example of how, you know, being quite abstract can conjure up these emotions that are very tangible. And the nectar, again, what does she mean? And then we get the chant again, and then we're into another chorus. So it makes me feel again like, and the nectar is a part of the dream that we're about to enter into again.
zoo eyes, zoo eyes, zoo eyes. Ask for me and you shall receive. Opulent fare, all sound is peace.
Even the way she sings, the voice she sings, it's like she almost sings as a child, like mispronounces the word opulent. And then we get this other really interesting kind of image or metaphor. All sound is bees that drift to where the covered tree has no leaves. And it just makes me think. I'm just trying to picture that. But what an amazing way to conjure up images that you haven't heard of before. You know, I haven't ever thought of that. I haven't ever seen that. So it's really, really cool. It's a really interesting thing to pick up on for your own writing. I mean, it makes me think about like, what were the sort of fantasies I had as a child? Like, what were these worlds that I kind of created? We all kind of, you know, do that for ourselves when we're kids, is like we come up with these worlds and like, you know, imaginary friends or whatever it is. We have these daydreams. And it really feels like this is what she's letting us in on. And again, like the playful nature of the vocal, all the flutes and the arrangement and all of that, everything's very delicate but fun and light. But it has a heaviness and a darkness and a sadness to it. So that's why I wanted to play the music, because to just read the lyrics on their own, it doesn't really make much sense. This is one of those songs where, I mean, arguably every song you need the music for it to make sense, but you really need the music and almost the video. I'm not really like, I don't often point people to a music video. You know, I'll just share a song, but this one, like, it's a great video, and it does really, I mean, it leaves the imagery open enough for you to still conjure up what you will, but it adds these characters in, which is really, really cool. And then I love this. Let's see if I can find this bit.
Dubai, Dubai. Zuai, Zuai, Zuai.
So the way that she turns Dubai into sounding like the Zuai's chant, I think is just really, really cool. So then we get another chorus, and out of the chorus, we get this chant.
Greatest show on earth you shall see. It's the greatest.
So this part to me makes me think of Beatles, and that I might be being really lame and obvious by saying that, but it's like that magical mystery tour energy of, you know, that whole era of the Beatles where they were inventing these other worlds. It feels really psychedelic and dreamlike again, and it's this pinnacle kind of moment.
On earth you shall see. What am I doing in Dubai?
Incredible. So then at the end, you know, finishes like it starts. So it's as if she's had this, she poses this question, like it's a little kind of meditation to herself, and then goes off on this immense daydream and invents this entire world. I'm picturing her like in a seat at the airport, like just waiting. And then at the very end of the song, kind of comes back to reality and is like, what am I doing in Dubai again? That's how I kind of interpret it. I don't know if that's how you interpret it. I'd love to hear your theories. Maybe somebody has, you know, knows a bit more than me about this song. But also, you know, I like that it just lets you take your own meaning from it. It's great. I love it, and I'm glad that this was requested. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If there are songs that you want me to look at and do a breakdown of the lyrics, just let me know. Reply, put a comment. All my links are in the description of this video. So thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you on the next one.